It's Monday, December 7, and this is your Barbados Today Evening News Update. Prime Minister Mottley is at this hour meeting with the top brass of the Barbados Workers Union and the management of G4S to avert national industrial action. Earlier today, the Barbados Workers Union General Secretary Tony Moore threatened a stepped-up action after she learnt that management of the Grantley Adams International Airport was seemingly taking sides with G4S by engaging in what she called strike-breaking tactics to avoid a disruption in services. She stressed that while an employer has the right to secure its best interests, it should not do so at the expense of poor industrial practice. The BWU and G4S have long been at odds over issues relating to pay increases and better working conditions. Government is ramping up its fight against dengue fever. Today, Minister of Health and Wellness, Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic, disclosed the island has recorded between 250 to 300 suspected cases of the mosquito-borne illness over the last several months, but tests are still ongoing to determine the actual number of confirmed cases. He, however, said his ministry is in the process of completing an action plan to tackle the problem.
We have completed one cycle of training for some additional personnel who are now actually out in the field. So we expect to have more foggers out, but we are waiting the arrival of some additional fogging machines. So we are moving now to having 4 trucks that will be doing fogging on a daily basis. But more importantly, we have persons, more bodies on the ground trying to identify mosquito breeding sites, because that is really the key, the destruction of those sites. The fogging will give you temporary relief, but we need to be able to take care of the breeding sites. Additionally, we have a number of suspected cases that the QEH and other medical facilities would have reported. We are in the process of doing the testing to confirm whether or not those persons actually had dengue, because regrettably, the same machines that are being utilized for COVID-19 PCR tests are the ones that are required for the dengue testing. So we've had to create some space so that we can get that process going.
Meanwhile, an assurance that Barbadians have no reason to fear any COVID-19 vaccine. According to Minister Bostic, none of the emergency vaccines being rolled out in the United Kingdom and parts of the United States of America will be accepted here without thorough vetting and acceptance from the world's most reputable public health agencies.
In every other instance, we take guidance from the World Health Organization, Pan American Health Organization, and we also have the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARFA. Most of the information which have been given in relation to the vaccines is the same information really that has been given in the press. The vaccines have to be looked at by CDC, for example, in the United States, WHO and other entities, before we will get that guidance in terms of what we're going to do. And that has not happened as yet. So we are monitoring everything, and then we will make certain determinations.
Primary and secondary school students are anxious to return to the classroom. That's the consensus emerging from a one-on-one meeting involving Education Minister Cynthia Bradshaw, the key officials and students to discuss school in the current COVID-19 environment. Students got the chance to share their experiences and challenges of the blended learning environment, which entails both online and face-to-face instruction.
At the primary level, the major concern has really been that students want to return to school. And I think it's fair to say that at the secondary level, they want to return to school. It is not to say that there are not good things that have come from being in a blended approach or an online environment, but I think generally children are missing that interaction, that face-to-face with the teachers. Many of them express that there are some households where it's very difficult for them to engage in the online environment. There are lots of distractions, whether it's parents, the neighbors, the noise in the background, and it's making it very difficult for many of them to be able to concentrate. As a consequence, obviously, they feel as though they're falling behind. For the ones who are doing the 11 plus, there was a lot of anxiety from them, as well as the ones who are doing the CXC as well, because in both situations, they're being prepared every day for an examination at the end of their tenure at school. And now, in addition to all of the other pressures associated with exams, they're now being asked to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic on top of that. So there are lots of stresses that I sense are coming from our students. And generally, the feeling is that they would like to be able to return to a face-to-face environment.
There's regional and international news after this short break. Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, Grenada's opposition leader Tobias Clement today chained himself to his table in Parliament as he made a statement in response to the EC $1.2 billion budget. Clement was originally due to begin the debate in the 15-member Parliament last Friday, but Speaker Michael Pierre said he had received no communication from the legislator regarding his absence. In anticipation that he would most likely be removed from the chamber if he spoke for more than an hour, a chained Clement told legislators he has to deliver his presentation in the interest of the people.
This might be the most famous piece of change in Grenada today. And to put me out of this house, Mr. Speaker, let the whole world see that even in chains, I will deliver what I have to deliver today. And I don't have the keys, Mr. Speaker. You will have to send for the keys. So if you have to get me out of here today, I don't know. I do not even know if the orderlies can take me out today. So, Mr. Speaker, while they were planning...
Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Yes, sir. Merci.
I understand a lot of drama and grandstanding. I used to do this myself. I don't know why you came so prepared.
Well, I must...
You see, you were given the opportunity to do that is your privilege as the leader of the opposition. You complained that you had 2 days to do your preparation, which is not true. You had the same time as every other parliamentarian had, receiving the documents on the 25th of November, posted from the Parliament at 9:40 a.m. So I don't understand the drama and the chain. This Parliament is not a slave pen. The Parliament is a place of freedom.
Further afield, French ex-President Nicolas Sarkozy today declared his innocence at his landmark graft trial. The 65-year-old right-winger, who led France from 2007 to 2012, is accused of trying to bribe a judge with a plum retirement job in exchange for inside information on an inquiry into his campaign finances.
But he began with a 16-minute opening statement. In it, at times, he appeared annoyed, at times angry, other times indignant. But the big line of that statement was him saying that he has never, in his entire political career, committed an act of corruption. So the court got to hear today from Sarkozy in person, but also on tape. The prosecution played several clips from wiretapped conversations of Sarkozy and his longtime personal lawyer. Now, the prosecution says that these conversations show the two men planning how to get a judge to give them information about an investigation into Sarkozy. Sarkozy, however, says that these were innocent conversations and it's all just part of investigators dragging him and his family through the mud.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.